Okay, for us to pull off this wing build, the first thing we have to do is get some parts. Now, what I'm going to show you here, this is, if I can get this out here and get you to see that, this is a piece of 1/16 4-inch wide, I believe it's 4-inch wide, balsa. And you can see, oh, I've been busy, I've got ribs cut out of it. Now this is what you get when you have a CNC machine. It makes this whole process so much easier. I use a flat printer MK2 CNC machine from flatboys.com. Little shameless plug there for Mark and Trish's endeavor. But since we're doing a scratch build and you don't already have ribs cut out, we've got to do that. And when I put together a kit, I usually do it like this, where I've got a little sheet here that I've got ribs and a PDF. And I just printed that off. I always make sure that the way I do my files, when you open up your PDF, you should be able to just simply print that PDF, choose to not scale anything to fit the page. So turn off page scaling so that it doesn't shrink, and you'll end up with parts that are, to an accurate size. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out, some ribs here. I'm going to show you how I do it. The top one here, oh, I've got a shadow. The top one here is a 1/16 rib. Again, we've also got some 1/8 inch parts, but we're going to do a 1/16 so I can show you the process. So I'm just going to kind of roughly, with my blade, cut this thing out. You can see the top of my bench is glass. Man, I can't express to you enough how much that helps. Now, I've got some blank space here on my 1/16 balsa, and I use just a simple, really cheap glue stick. So I can take this, if my girls haven't boogered it up too bad, and I'm just going to run a little layer of this across this balsa. The important thing is that we get one rib. Once you've got one rib cut out, then you are good to go. Because you can use that rib to make all the rest of them that you need in that same size. Now, that has given me a little tack there on my wood, so now I can start cutting this rib out. The glory of the QSC, the e-QSC that we're building here, is that it uses a diamond-shaped airfoil. And having a diamond-shaped airfoil means we can use a straight edge to aid us in cutting out our parts. Now, when you're cutting out parts, always cut oversized. Always cut to the outside of the line. I'm just using an inexpensive, straight edge razor. And I buy these things in a box of 100 for usually like, I don't know, $6 or $7. And now we'll cut to this side of the line. Again, take your time. Neatness counts. Accuracy counts. And ta-da. Now we're going to go to this side to cut this portion of the airfoil. Now, if we were building a conventional airfoil, it would take a little longer because we wouldn't be able to use our straight edge. And this is an effective airfoil, though it works really well, and it's fast. That's what I like. Quick building, QSC, quick, simple, and cheap. Now, there's just about a completed rib. Now we're going to go in and trim out the other things here. We've got, again, my straight edge that I'm using, this is just a piece of aluminum that I got at my local home improvement store, and it works great as a straight edge. A ruler, anything metal will work just fine. Now all I'm going to do is make the notch here for the front of the rib, because this notch is what we'll use to glue onto our 1/4 inch leading edge stock. You can see this is it's all done just like we're doing here. Just takes time. I like to go here and we're going to try to get this trailing edge, this little recess here in the back. This is where 1/16 inch balsa trailing edge stock is going to go. And Just taking my time with it. Balsa is a neat animal. It's real easy to work with. It's real forgiving. And if you take your time, you're rewarded with you know, really nice, accurate parts. And I hope you can see on the camera. All I'm doing is just trimming out the slots for a trailing edge stock. And that one's done. And you know, so far you can see what we've got. When we're finished, we can just pull that paper right off. Still got a little left to go. If it sticks on, that's fine. But all that's left, and for this part, you can use your standard X-Acto knife. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to carefully trim out our, see if you can see that on the camera. We're basically going to trim out where we put our spars in. And I'm hurrying here, so being a little sloppy. Actually, we can use this one here. There's one knot. This is one of these things that's real easy to do, and it's great in front of the television. If you've got a wife that's forgiving and doesn't mind you working on aircraft in the living room in front of the TV with the radio playing. Anyway, I'm not going to trim the rest of this for camera saving time and all, but you can kind of see here, we've got our notches on the back for our trailing edge stock. We've got a couple of spar notches cut away. We've got the leading edge notched away for a 1/4 inch balsa stick, and I got to cut these two out. But once this rib is complete, now you can use this, and it just so happens this particular kit uses 10 of these 1/16 ribs, and it uses, I believe it's 8 of the 1/8 inch ribs. Well, once you've got one cut, well, you can use this to trace off all the rest of them and then just sit down and cut them out and notch them. And you know, in about an hour's time, you've got all the balsa ribs that you need for your kit. So with that, I'm going to leave you, and we'll resume back with framing up the wing.